Hey, we're here in MetLife Terrace at Red Onion Burgers, our show sponsor, and with us right now, the owner, Sean Richards. Sean, we've got a Steve Largent jersey over your shoulder, a Harley-Davidson bike, other memorabilia around. Big fundraiser coming up next Saturday. What's going on?
Next Saturday, between 5 and 10 p.m. at the Emerald City Harley-Davidson, we're doing our 9th annual Shop with the Cop fundraiser. That's where we raise funds to take 200 children shopping with cops, first responders, military, and firefighters. The event includes live music, food, entertainment, a wine pole, and lots of silent auction items to bid on to help us raise these funds. So come on and join us.
A fun-filled evening, all for a great cause. Come on out to Emerald City Harley-Davidson, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. next Saturday night.
Welcome to This Week in High School Sports. Teresa Whipple here with Steve Willits, and we are winding down the season, aren't we?
Yeah, every time you turn around, we lose another team
I know.
Or another sport wraps up. The fall is just about ready to conclude, and winter sports right around the corner.
Can't believe it.
And soccer.
Yes.
Edmonds-Woodway, we did have one team left going into the weekend. Unfortunately, their season came to an end on Saturday. 2-0 loss to Mercer Island, but really nothing to be ashamed of at all.
No.
Made it to the final 8. This is a team that was in the middle of the pack in Wesco just a few weeks ago. They end up finishing 3rd in the regular season in Wesco. They then go on to win the district championship. Huge deal there. And they got a great win against Bonnie Lake last Tuesday. So really, really nice season for the Warriors. We thought we'd end their year on a high note in studio. Brought 2 of their players in who just happen to be sisters. So here's
More
our
siblings.
More siblings.
Yay.
Hannah Hicks, Kyra Hicks in the studio, Warrior Soccer. The Edmonds-Woodway girls soccer team made it all the way to the state quarterfinals this year. Unfortunately, their season came to an end this weekend with a 2-0 loss to Mercer Island. And with us right now, not only 2 teammates, but 2 sisters. Goalkeeper Hannah, who is a senior, and sister Kyra, who is a sophomore. Ladies, congratulations. I know it's a rough weekend. I know you would have liked to have gone further. But Hannah, for you being a senior, getting to the quarterfinals in what's always a tough road, really, for Wesco and for 3A in general, not a bad accomplishment.
No, definitely not. And it's especially cool coming back from not even making it to districts last year and being able to go to the state semifinals sophomore years. It's really cool to be able to get back into the tournament and make it back to quarterfinals.
And Kyra, for you were playing JV earlier this year, so to not only get to the state tournament, but I know in the game prior to that, the last victory, the win over Bonnie Lake, you scored 2 goals in a 3-2 victory. Has to be a kind of a neat and special time of year for you, right? Getting this far and to be a part of this team.
Yeah, I was actually really excited and grateful that I got brought up, and it's been really fun to kind of go with the team as far as we went this year. So yeah.
Yeah, and I know, Hannah, you and I were talking off camera a few minutes ago. This is a season in which, at one point, we were looking in the standings, and I think you were 8th, 9th, or 10th in Wesco. Not in the state, but in Wesco. You end up finishing in 3rd in the standings, and then not only that, you end up rolling through the districts. 3 straight victories to get to the district and win the district championship. 3 shutouts, and you're the goalkeeper. 11 shutouts on the year for you, a district title. You've got to feel pretty good about the way this turned out, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like I was talking to you before, definitely in the beginning it was a little worrisome that we were down there so far, but to be able to come back and get one of the top 8 spots in the state is really cool, and I'm really proud of the team and how far we've come and how much we pushed through, and getting that district title and kind of staking our claim was really, really cool.
And as far as the shutouts, 11 on the season, but you had a streak of 6 games in a row in which you did not give up a single goal. 3 to end the regular season, 3 in districts. In the moment when that's happening, do you know that you have all these shutouts? Are you thinking about it in terms of how many minutes I've gone without giving up a goal? And then when it finally comes to an end, what is that feeling like?
No, I don't really keep too much track of those. I was telling you before that I kind of get told by other people, like my teammates will be like, oh, hey, look, we haven't been scored on, or my coach will bring it up, and then having it to come to an end it's a little bit saddening, but again, I kind of don't pay too much attention to that, but yeah.
It's been good. And then, Kyra, for you, a half the season in JV, and then you come up to varsity. Not only do you come up to varsity, but you have to play at a high level at the state tournament. What was that transition like for you this year? I know you were having a very successful JV year. It seems like every time somebody mentioned your name, I was hearing about multiple goals scored in a game, and then all of a sudden you're playing varsity. What's it been like for you all season?
I was really nervous coming up at first, but all the girls on the team were very, very welcoming. The coach was very nice about like kind of transitioning me between JV and varsity, and to kind of have the support from the whole entire team in the games and during practice was really, really nice.
Does it make the transition easier when you look and you see older sister on the team as well?
Definitely, yeah. She was kind of able to give me some pointers and some tips about playing up and just what varsity was like in general. So.
And Hannah, what's that been like for you? Because again, you're 2 years apart. Did you play a lot growing up together? I would imagine you've always played soccer together, but as far as being on a team, what's it been like there?
Well, this is the first year that we've like been on an actual team together. I did guest play during a tournament this summer with her club team, which was kind of cool. Got to play on the field with her a little bit, which was even cooler. But having her up on the team it's really cool because I get to cheer her on and actually be there, and I can send balls down to her. I think I had a couple of her goals that I assisted the person who assisted her, which was kind of cool to do. And yeah, it's a really cool experience to be able to play with a sibling.
Sure, and now that you've played together on the same team for part of the year anyway, I'm going to have you guys give me a scouting report on each other. Kyra, let me start with you. Tell me about the goalkeeper here and the teammate also, not the older sister Hannah, but what it's like with you out there on the field with her and what she does well.
She's really, really good at keeping the goals or the ball out of the net. I would say that, but she's really good at kind of communicating with the whole entire team and telling us what to do and how to improve our play and helping us kind of come together as a team and play well as a team, I think.
And we were kind of laughing before we started rolling the cameras here. You seem to know her stats more than she does. Give me one of the stats you mentioned a few minutes ago in terms of her 3 years in goal.
Well, they were talking, I think I got a stat from one of the other teammates too, but I think it was a very, very low number of goals over the 3 years she's been varsity keeper. I think it was around 16 goals in Wesco for over the 3 years, which I think is actually crazy. But
She's done all right back there in the net, huh?
I would say so.
And now tell me about Kyra, the teammate, the sophomore, the goal scorer.
Well, it's really cool again to be able to play with her and see how composed she is, especially when she's got the ball. And I think she's been a huge impact on the team, and being able to be kind of a target player, especially for crosses. She's been able to get on a lot of the crosses from Gabby Chappelle and Michaela Daniel, which is really cool. And yeah, just her composure when she gets the ball there. I think against Bonnie Lake, one of the coolest things was she got a cross off of from Gabby Chappelle, and she was right in front of the goal, right in front of the goalie, one-on-one, and she just collected it and slotted it in. And I thought that was really cool to experience and be able to feel like I was a part of in a way. And yeah.
Very nice. Now, looking forward, Kyra, you're a sophomore, so what does the team look like in the next couple years? I know there were not a lot of seniors on this team, right? I mean, it wasn't a handful, but not necessarily a senior-heavy team. How do the Warriors look moving forward?
I think they look really, really strong. We have a lot of really good players. We have two really strong outside mids, Gabby Chappelle and Michaela Daniel, and we have a strong midfield and a strong defense coming and supporting our team. And I think it looks really good.
And Hannah, for you, I know we talked about it early on here in the interview, but your 4 years are up as far as soccer. You've still got track coming up, so you're not done yet. But as far as looking back on this team with your fellow seniors, when you were freshmen, this is a team that won the state championship. You mentioned already third place your sophomore year. What does it mean for the few of you that were on that team or have been with the organization for all 4 years as you kind of reflect now and look back on it? How is it? Have any of you and the other seniors had a chance to talk about that yet?
A little bit. Molly Cardin and I were on the JV team together our freshman year, and then we were on the we were on the varsity our sophomore year and got to go back to state, and so we've kind of grown throughout high school in soccer together, which is really cool, and we were captains together this year. And then being able to be with Lexi Catton and Jasmine Nunez and Esther Jones and those guys more this year and a little bit last year as well was it's just really exciting to be able to see them grow and to be able to grow up with them and experience just how far our teams have come together. And I'm really sad to be leaving them and be leaving the rest of the team, but I know that they're going to go far in whatever they're continuing to do. And yeah.
Very nice. And then, as we mentioned briefly a few moments ago, track coming up. I know it's a few months away still. Are you both taking the winter off to, I guess, get ready for track, or are you doing anything else? Or
Yeah, so we'll be trying to work out a little bit and mostly that to get ready and stuff like that. But
Keeping fit with
Yeah.
soccer and
yeah.
all sorts of stuff just to keep us in shape.
Sure. Club teams at all for soccer?
Yes.
Okay, so you do have that still coming up. And then when we do look forward to track, Hannah, for you, 7th place in the state in the long jump last year. I know you also, you're both runners, you're both jumpers, I should mention too, right, Kyra?
Yep.
What can we expect from the track season? I guess, are you going to continue to run and jump, or?
Yeah, so I think I'm mostly going to focus on jumping up. I really do want to get back in state for long jump and possibly the high jump again. And I think that I'll probably end up running a little bit too in some of the relays. I do enjoy doing those, and it's really fun to be in kind of a group setting for those running events. But yeah.
And Kyra, we should mention too, already talked about the fact that that was the first time you two have been teammates on the soccer field. You both won the 4x200 in the relay last year at the Edmonds School District Championships. I know, Kyra, you usually weren't on that team, but I think Morgan Davis had a concussion, I think, that week, so you stepped in, and you, the two of you, along with Gabby Chappelle, and I think it was Ella Splain, right,
Yes.
won the championship there. So you've already kind of been teammates per se. Would you like to maybe see that team put back together again, and with maybe Morgan taking Ella's place, and could we maybe see that?
I think
That-
it would be really,
that group.
really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what about you? Are you more going to focus on running, jumping, a little bit of everything? What's your
I
plan?
think it's going to be a little bit of everything. I haven't really decided what events I really want to do this year, but I think I'm going to kind of try different events and see what I really enjoy during the track season.
They've got an entire winter to figure that out, and then part of the spring as well. So we'll see how that goes. And then Hannah, we should mention senior college. What are we thinking? I'm great athletes. So I mean, are you looking to participate in sports in college, or what are your thoughts right
Yeah,
now?
so I'm thinking definitely going into track. I really want to pursue that a little bit more. I think if I do compete in soccer, it'll be more intramural, but my main focus is definitely more academic and getting a good education, and so sports is definitely going to be more of a second thing. And if I do get to do that in college, that'll be amazing, and I know it'll be a great experience. But if I don't, then I know that I'm still going to have a great time in college and just the academic side of things. So
Very nice. And I guess I shouldn't let this other note slide here too. Busy weekend for you. Not only did you play in that soccer game on Saturday, Friday, Edmonds-Woodway football, you're in the band.
yes,
So what instrument are you playing?
I play the piccolo in the band, and then the flute in the regular band as well. So
Okay, so we might even see you playing at a few basketball games this year? Is
yeah,
that okay?
yeah.
So these two ladies, very busy. They get a little bit of time off right now, but I don't think they're going to use it to relax too much. I know they're going to keep in shape and get ready for the upcoming track season, as well as club soccer. And before we let you go, one final thing. Hannah already has one of these, so now we're going to make sure that Sister Kyra can match. We've been giving away Action Jackson Plumbing Player of the Week shirts all season long. Hannah had one after one of her shutouts earlier this year. Kyra, for your 2 goals against Bonnie Lake this week, you are our Action Jackson Plumbing Player of the Week. Now you can wear that proudly, and I know you've got the matching sweatshirts already going for girls soccer, and now you have matching Player of the Week shirts. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And thanks again. And again, these 2 ladies, they're going to take a little time off right now from school soccer. They'll continue to play club soccer through the winter, and we look forward to following them out on the track this spring. Hannah, Kyra, thank you very much, and congratulations on a very successful Warrior soccer season.
Thank you.
Well, it was a season for the girls to be proud of, and it sounds like they both have bright futures ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only playing soccer still, they've got their club teams, but
Yep.
out on the track, they had a
Yeah.
nice year last year and only going to get better as they go on.
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch them.
Indeed.
Okay, so football is what we have left, right?
Yeah, this sounds familiar. Edmonds-Woodway playing this weekend in a state tournament game. Edmonds-Woodway losing. So not
Yeah.
only the soccer team, they've got company, the football team also, but another nice run. Sounds like a broken record, but really it was the first time in 6 years that the Warriors football team advanced to the state tournament. Unfortunately, and we mentioned this the other night on our last show, they did not get the best of draws. They went up against Eastside Catholic, ranked number 1 in the state, and their season came to an end against Eastside Catholic. Final score 42-13, but nonetheless, a year in which they won the Wesco 3A South title. Only 2 losses all year to Woodinville and Eastside Catholic, and both of those 2 teams might be holding up trophies later on this year. And we thought we'd bring in 2 more players just to kind of put a wrap on their season. Brought in 2 Tylers, Tyler McClendon and Tyler McAtee, 2 of the linemen, I might add, to give those guys a little bit of credit because the big fellas in the trenches, they never really get their names called unless they do something wrong. But these guys deserved it. Great defense all season long. Here are the Tylers. The Edmonds-Woodway football team advanced to the state tournament for the first time in 6 years. Unfortunately, their first round opponent is the team that a lot of folks think will win the state championship there, Eastside Catholic. Season came to an end this weekend, but with us right now, 2 of the starters, 2 Tyler Macks, I should have mentioned. Tyler McAtee, who plays defensive end and left guard, and then Tyler McClendon, who's nose tackle and right guard. Guys, I'm just going to start off by asking you this. Same first name, same first 2 initials of the last name. Do people get you guys confused? Because I know as an announcer, I sometimes get you guys confused when I'm out there on the field. McAtee, what's it like for the 2 of you?
Gets a little complicated, especially when coaches are yelling from the sidelines, Tyler, like after a play, saying, Tyler, what were you doing on that play? Oftentimes both of us will be turning around and one of us may have done it right and the other one may have done it wrong, or maybe we both did it right, we were just confused. So it can get a little confusing with yelling of names.
I can imagine. And McClendon, we were talking just a few minutes ago. You mentioned that when I was asking about stats in terms of sacks and tackles, at times when the statisticians are trying to put together everything, you don't necessarily know if the stats are accurate because you're each credited with each other's stats. Is that right?
Yeah, just playing my game and say I'll get a sack or something and the announcer will call out his name instead of mine.
So do you guys sit down with each other at some point and go, okay, then that sack's mine, I want that one back, or that tackle's mine, or do you guys just kind of let it?
I don't think we can, only because I feel like we get a lot of tackles.
It's hard to remember all of them.
It really is.
These 2 guys have been in on a lot of plays this year. And McAtee, I should point out too, you mentioned that at one time or another this year, early in the season, you guys were experimenting with nicknames to try to differentiate for folks. How did that work out?
We went through a few combinations. None of them really stuck with the coaches. We just kind of been McAtee and McClendon, or just hope whichever Tyler that you're trying to address is nearest. But at the beginning of the season, we were experimenting with names like Thomas and Train, or one of our favorite ones was TT and Tata. But understandably, the coaches didn't really want to be yelling that from the sidelines. So
you couldn't envision Coach Gradwell yelling TT and Tata? That's not really in his nature, is that what you're saying? I can imagine. This season, I mean, every time Edmonds-Woodway comes up, whether it's in media or in print, people are constantly talking about the defense. And defense is kind of a dying art sometimes. I mean, there once was a time when everybody used to proclaim that defense wins championships, and now we're kind of in this era where there's open offenses and spreads and 50-plus points being put up per game. Tyler McClendon, what does it mean for you guys, and how much pride do you take in playing defense?
We take a lot of pride in our defense. I guess if you look at our season and you look at kind of the amount of shutouts and the amount of points that we allowed, most of those games, our defense got us the W.
Absolutely. And McAtee, I mean, for you guys also, do you have goals in terms of, okay, we don't want to give up this many points today, or we don't want to give up a touchdown, and then what is it like when you do finally give up a touchdown? I've got to think that you guys are pretty finicky out there. You don't want to let the other team have any more than they need, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know if we have a specific goal before each game, but it's always our goal to get out there and compete. And that's been one of Coach Gradwell's big things throughout the season, is that we need to get out there and compete, even if we're not like perfect on all of our assignments. We need to be full effort, full go. But it always feels nice to have a shutout, like you were talking about. Shutouts are great. Usually the scores, like when you see only 1 or 2 scores a game, it's not till near the end when we're either starting to let up or we put in backups or something. But it's a good time being on the defense. I love playing with the guys. It feels good to be on the defense.
It's a good time. They've been awfully stingy all year long. Hey, as far as we mentioned it in the intro, first time making it to the state tournament in 6 years. McClendon, that's got to mean the world to you guys. What was it like to finally be able to say, hey, we're heading over to the round of 16?
Feels good, man. It's just a lot of pride, I guess. Felt, proud of my guys, proud of my class. Just happy in general.
You never like to lose, but you've only lost 2 games all season, and one was a playoff game, one was a non-conference game. Eastside Catholic and Woodinville. A lot of the experts are projecting both of those 2 teams to win the 3A and the 4A state championships. You guys could end up eventually saying that you lost to 2 state champions, not 1. Tyler, does that make it a little bit easier to deal with, knowing that when you did finally lose, and I'm asking this to McAtee, I guess I need to clear up my Tyler question here. When you do finally lose to a team that you're losing to the best, would that mean something to you? Do you kind of find yourself rooting for those teams moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier to lose to them, definitely, because you know that they're teams with a lot of talent. They get a lot of good guys that are moving on to college level. So, especially in the case of Woodinville, where we held them to only 24 points, I think. Like, it feels good knowing that you played them just as well as any other team, even though they're such a good team. And I guess watching them go into playoffs and into championships, you definitely are rooting for them a little bit, just so that you can say that you didn't lose to anyone but champions of the state, right?
And yeah, absolutely. That's always a big deal. We mentioned you both play line, offensive and defensive. Those are the positions that don't always get the glory, right? We're always calling out the names of the running back who scores the touchdown or the quarterback who throws the pass. And certainly we've talked about a number of the receivers over the last few years for Edmonds-Woodway. Tell me a little bit about the guys in the trenches that are doing all the work and getting not maybe getting their names called as much, or when they do get their names called, it's one of the other guys, right? They're always messing up the names. Tyler, who are some of the guys you're playing with? Let me give me your offensive line and who we're watching when we watch the Warriors this season.
Offensive line, we have Xavier Belcher at center, big guy. Basically I would call him our offensive line captain, always calling out what to do and whatnot. At left tackle, we have Anthony Wu, big guy, strong guy, sophomore, still getting experience. Right tackle, we have Josh Brown. Pretty good. He'll get better throughout next year. And left guard, this guy over here. And at me, we have I play right guard, and there's just a lot of experience. Me, Xavier, and Tyler have all been playing with each other for 5 years in a row. And every year we seem to be on the same O-line. And at D-line, we have Jacob Kitchen. Jacob Kitchen. Fun guy to play with, fast, not very disciplined at all, but he plays for fun, and that's just it's good to have.
There we go. Jacob, we've had Jacob on the show as a baseball player, so I didn't say it, he did, but definitely.
We just like to have fun with it.
I'm sure you do. Who are some of the other guys on defense, McAtee? Who else are we watching back there that contributed?
During this season, the biggest guys have been Noah Becker, Sally Hu, Dominic, Carlos, Brian, pretty much everybody in the secondaries and linebackers are all great guys, real good at their jobs, flying around in corners and safeties and in coverage, making interceptions, making the quarterback wait to throw so that we can get in there and get our sacks. But it's always nice to be D lineman knowing that you've got time to get in there because you secondary out there covering. You have to worry about you have to worry about huge gains because we have just such incredible corners and safeties out there, making sure that the ball doesn't get thrown too far away from us.
Right. And now give me a Tyler to Tyler scouting report. McClendon, tell me a little bit about McAtee as a guard and as a defensive end. What's it like playing with him, and what does he do well?
On offense, I think he does his job. Both of us were both undersized as O-linemen, and I don't know, for me, I take pride in being undersized and getting my job done. And same with him, he's always gotten the job done. I don't think there's ever been a time where I've been mad at him for not doing anything, or for not doing his job.
Grinder that just goes out there and does what he needs to.
Exactly.
And McAtee, tell me about McClendon. What's it like playing with him, and what does he do well?
It's always a good time to watch Tyler play, especially on a lot of what we do is pulling the two guards across the line to kick somebody out or get a block on a D end. And I will say this: Tyler's very good at pulling. Oftentimes, the defensive end will get quite a shock to see Tyler the Tank coming around and smack him in the chest. And honestly, it's great because he's able to make like big holes for the running backs to run through and get yards. So
Definitely. And now senior football season is over. You're not done playing sports though, right? You're both track athletes, both throwers, I should mention. Tyler, now I guess McClendon, you're a little bit newer to the world of track and field. Is that correct?
Yeah, a little
So
bit.
you're still kind of learning as you go. Do you have a favorite throw?
Shot put.
Okay.
Shot put all the way.
What is it about shot put? Is that your best event, or do you just enjoy throwing the shot put more? Than
Both.
Okay.
It is my best, and I enjoy all the people that do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a close group of throwers in shot put, and it's a lot of fun. It's a fun time of year.
Very good. Another shot putter sitting right next to you here. How about you, McAtee? What is your best throw, and what do you enjoy throwing the most?
In terms of best, like just pure statistics, I think it's probably discus. But in terms of like rankings around the district, I've gotten the furthest in shot put. But yeah, I don't know.
Now, you mentioned to me before the camera was rolling that Mr. McClendon here, a little bit newer to the sport, but he's got a lot of upper body strength, and he's starting to catch up to you in some of the events too. Do we think we can hold him off this year, or is he going to eventually get you on one or two?
I think he's going to catch me in shot put, just because he's got a lot bigger frame, his great powerful legs of his. I'm a much smaller guy in terms of like width and especially in shoulders, and just I don't have commitment as much as he does to get in the weight room and lift. So my big reliance is on like form, and that only comes with experience. And now that Tyler's catching up to me in experience, I think that he's probably going to pass me.
So we will stay tuned. We'll see how that plays out. And then after that, college plans. You're both seniors. Anything coming up down the pike? What are you thinking, McClendon?
UW.
Okay.
UW all the way.
Trying to get in there and see where that goes.
Yeah.
And I understand, Mr. McAtee, you want to travel a little further away for school, correct?
Yeah,
The
I'd
hope,
like
anyway?
to go down to UCSD in San Diego and go into their civil and structural engineering program.
Not an easy road by any means.
No, not quite.
Well, good for you. And by the way, we're also going to do one more thing here. Since we're getting late in the season, we're going to have co-player of the weeks, courtesy of Action Jackson Plumbing. These two guys right here, not only did they make it to state this year, they won the Wesco 3A South Championship, and they got it done on defense and offense for that matter, but defense was kind of their calling card all year. Tyler McAtee, we're going to give you one shirt there.
Thank you very much.
And Tyler McClendon, we're going to give you the other. And we thank our sponsor, Action Jackson Plumbing, for once again doing this season. So you guys can continue to not only be the Tyler M's around the school, but you can have matching shirts to boot and enjoy those. So, hey, guys, congratulations again on a great season and getting to state. Best of luck to you the rest of your senior year.
Thank
you very much.
All right, thanks, guys.
Tough loss for the Warriors, but they seem to have a pretty good attitude about it all.
Yeah, and what can you do at that point,
You
right? I
can't
mean,
do
when
anything.
you make it to that tournament, whoever you play is going to be tough. And
Yeah.
when you get the Crusaders in round one,
Yeah.
not much you can do. And I have a feeling that's not going to be the last time that the Eastside Catholic Crusaders end somebody's season in the next few weeks. So stay tuned.
Seems like we always end up getting paired with them in whatever teams we.
I think Edmonds-Woodway's lost to them a couple of different times. 2 years ago, I believe, in the quad districts, and I know Meadowdale had a
Meadowdale did,
3-year streak
yeah.
in which they lost to Eastside Catholic. So, unfortunately, the Crusaders not welcome up in the South Snohomish County for the most part.
Nope. Okay. Well, what do we have left?
Well, we have swimming. The state championships took place over the weekend down in Federal Way. Morgan Broadhead, not a big surprise here. She took 4th place in the 100 freestyle. I think she took 4th place last year too, and finished in the top 10 all 4 years. So congratulations to Morgan, as well as all of the other swimmers who are participating down there this weekend. In cross country, we thought we might be done talking about this for a while, but Yukino Powell, she strikes again, this
my
time
gosh.
down in Boise. She and Olivia Meter-Yetter, who were both in studio last week, both ran in the NXN Nike Cross Regionals. This is a meet in which you are trying to qualify for the national tournament, national championships. And Yuki went out and took 6th place. She ran a 5,000 meter in 17 minutes and 49 seconds. 6th place overall, which was good enough to qualify her for the nationals, which take place December 2nd down in Portland. So a heck of an accomplishment for her. This is a big deal. This is something that not too many people can lay claim to. And the fact that she's made it that far, outstanding. And we've always known that Yuki's a great runner, but to qualify for this particular meet, fantastic. And also Olivia finishing 33rd down there, which is not too shabby either. So
No.
Congratulations to both of those ladies. And I guess this means we'll be talking about Yuki again in a few more weeks when she races in that nationals race.
Yeah, that's really incredible. Well, so I guess that's a wrap for this week.
Yeah, winter sports right around the corner. We'll
Yeah.
be talking about them pretty soon. We've got boys and girls basketball coming up, boys and girls wrestling coming up, as well as boys swimming and diving. So certainly not going to be a shortage of things to cover this upcoming year. But for the most part, fall starting to come to an end. But it's been a lot of fun covering those athletes. We're still going to try to bring a couple of them in next week just to converse with them and talk about their seasons. But nonetheless, it's been a fun time to cover sports over the last couple months. So all of our athletes and all of our teams, congratulations for all the successes and the participation for that matter.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And we will bring you some updates next week, and we look forward to seeing you again then.